Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Here I'm stitching together popular quotes from two diverse conversation partners, both of whom are deceased. Eleanor Roosevelt was the U.S.'s First Lady in her husband, President Franklin Roosevelt's terms. She was the first chair of the UN Commission on Human Rights. President Truman called her the First Lady of the World for her human rights achievements. She ranked 9th in Gallup's list of most widely admired people of the 20th century. Arthur Schopenhauer was a philosopher best known for his work, The World as Will and Representation. His work is considered an exemplar of philosophical pessimism. Those who have cited his influence include Nietzsche, Einstein, Freud, Tolstoy, and Brahms. I will occasionally intersperse connecting phrases to create some semblance of a conversation. But nothing substantive. Roosevelt starts. It's probably the sense of being really needed and wanted that gives us the greatest satisfaction. Schopenhauer says, I disagree. A man can be himself only so long as he is alone. A high degree of intellect tends to make a man unsocial. Great men are like eagles and build their nest on some lofty solitude. If children were born into the world by an act of pure reason alone, would the human race continue to exist? Roosevelt says, Arthur, not intellect, but only a man's character is the real criterion of worth. But I do agree that if someone betrays you once, it's their fault. If they betray you twice, it's your fault. Schopenhauer says, we forfeit 3/4 of ourselves in order to be like other people. Expanding to the larger issue of happiness, what disturbs and depresses young people is the hunt for happiness. From this arises constantly diluted hope and so also dissatisfaction. Roosevelt says, Arthur, my most widely cited quote may be relevant advice to you here. It's better to light a candle than curse the darkness. Schopenhauer. Eleanor, there is benefit in looking at the negative, so every man takes the limits of his own field of vision for the limits of the world. The superficial nature of their thoughts, the narrowness of their views, the number of their errors. Roosevelt says, I agree that we need to be confident, not certain. And may I give you a little poke by reminding you that great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. My experience has been that work is almost the best way to pull one's self out of the depths. It is not more vacation we need, it is more vocation. Happiness is not a goal, it's a byproduct, Schopenhauer says. Just one more shot at people. Every miserable fool who has nothing at all of which he can be proud adopts as a last resort pride in the nation to which he belongs, thus reimbursing himself for his own inferiority. Roosevelt says, sometimes I wonder if we shall ever grow up in our politics and say definite things that mean something, or whether we shall always go on using generalities to which everyone can subscribe and that mean very little. Schopenhauer says, when some political or ecclesiastical pamphlet, novel, or poem is making a great commotion, you should remember that he who writes for fools always finds a large public. Roosevelt says, perhaps we can find common ground in discussing what it takes to be a fully actualized person. For the person who is unwilling to grow up, the person who does not want to carry his own weight, that is a frightening prospect. Also, a mature person does not think only in absolutes, is able to be objective even when deeply stirred emotionally, and learn that there is both good and bad in all people and all things. Plus, you have to accept whatever comes, and the only important thing is that you meet it with the best you have to give. One's philosophy is not best expressed in words, it's expressed in the choices one makes. The process never ends until we die. Schopenhauer says, speaking of death, let's end this by sharing my view on suicide. They tell us that suicide is wrong, when it is quite obvious that there is nothing in this world to which every man has a more unassailable title than to his own life and person. Roosevelt says, Arthur, I wish you greater happiness. Anyway, I thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.